Hey everyone, welcome to our Getting Started with Right-Click Tools for Intune Community Coffee Break. So happy to see everybody in the chat already. If you haven't had a chance yet, please, in the attendee chat, drop where you're tuning in from. I'm going to give everybody about a minute to kind of trickle in here, but I'll use this time to kind of plug a little bit of a user group thing. So if there's anybody in the webinar that is local to the Phoenix metro area, Recast Software is actually sponsoring the Arizona Systems Management User Group. That session is next Friday, March 7th at 9 a.m. So if anybody in here is in the Phoenix metro area, shoot me a message in the Q&A box, and I will get you a link to registration there. Come get some free food on Recast. So just a little plug for AZ Smug there. So we'll give just a little bit of time here. I'm seeing people from Germany, Michigan, some Canadians in here as well. I'm still a little bit salty about that Canada-USA game, but we'll move past it here. Let us go ahead and jump right into it. So a little bit of housekeeping today. So if you're unfamiliar or you haven't been in a Recast webinar before, the platform that we use On24 is very customizable. Pretty much anything you see on the screen, you should be able to move around. You can close the chat if you need to. Take a note that there is a live chat as well as a Q&A box. So if you have any questions for me or Chris, please drop those in the Q&A box. We can answer those as they come in, and we can also push those answers to the greater group as well if we need to. So that's just a little bit about the platform itself. It's pretty cool. We love the interaction, so if you have any questions, keep those coming in. At the end of this webinar, we will be doing a giveaway, as we usually do. The big item this webinar is a PS5. So whoever gets that PS5 has to face me in some Fortnite on it. So once you get that, I'll get you my gamer ID and we'll get going. So that's just a little bit of housekeeping. So who the heck are we? So my name is Cody Walla. I'm a product marketing engineer here at Recast Software. Marketing, I know, dirty word, the dark side, but I'm actually a former sysadmin myself. I worked in IT. Actually, my first junior sysadmin job working at the university I went to is where I first used and fell in love with Right-Click Tools. We had Right-Click Tools Community Edition. So that was kind of my first exposure, and I've used it ever since then, essentially. So from my junior sysadmin days up until my last role as a senior sysadmin, moving kind of more into the DevOps side of things. So that's a little bit about me. And then we've also got my brother from another mother, Chris and Toku, on the call here as well. Chris, do you want to give them a little bit of your background as well?
Sure thing. Hi, everyone. As Cody mentioned, my name is Chris Antoku. I'm the Technical Enablement Manager here at Recast Software. Just a fancy title. I'm in charge of training and enablement. And so some of you are familiar with me. I'm in charge of the Recast Academy. I've been with Recast just shy of 3 years now at this point. Like Cody, in a past life, I was a sysadmin, sole config manager admin, come from more of a technical background. You know, one of those things where you wear many hats, right? We did a lot of automation, lots of different things. But I've used that experience to kind of come in and share with the team and be a lot more technical and create content that is a little bit more technical for the sysadmins. And so I'm happy to be here and help out with this webinar here. Off to you, Cody.
Yeah, I think that's something that you'll see across Recast too is I can't think of a single job function that doesn't have somebody that was a former sysadmin in it. So we really try to bring IT folks in wherever we can. So we got a really quick poll question up for you. You should be able to go ahead and click your answer on the screen there. Have you downloaded and tried the new Right-Click Tools for Intune browser extension yet? That'll kind of help guide how much time we spend on things here. So I'll give you a little bit of time here. Then I'll drink my Recast sponsored coffee here. All right, I think we got a good number of people's answers here. So it looks like a vast majority of people have not tried it out yet, so that's good to see. We will give you all the tools that you need to get that up and running today. So kind of our agenda for the day, I'm going to break this down into kind of three main sections here. The first section we're going to cover is the Recast portal, which is kind of a newer thing for our community users. Our enterprise users have been using this for years now, but this is kind of a shift for our community users. Then we'll jump into, I'll have Chris help us get up and running with the tools itself. Chris has been working with a lot of onboarding our regular tools for Intune customers. So he's got kind of the tips and tricks that you need to make sure that this thing is working to the best of its ability for you. And then we'll also look at how to use the tools itself. And we'll have a fun little extra piece at the end of where you can use this outside of the bounds of Intune as well. So jumping into it, we're going to talk about the portal a little bit. So this is something that's new for our community users. Anybody that has been a community user in the past is probably used to going to the recastsoftware.com page, clicking on the free download page, and then having to fill out a form and having to do that every single time a new version comes out. So we are getting away from that. No more forms. What we are doing now is pushing you to the portal. Essentially, you create that account and you have access to download the tools from there. You don't have to fill it out a bunch of different times. There was a recent Reddit thread talking about why are they doing this? Are they going to take the tools away from us? Is it a rug pull kind of thing? Unequivocally, no, we are not taking away the community tools. We especially wouldn't do that right after releasing this for community, but that is not happening. This is just more of a evolution of how we provide our tools to you. As we move from being mainly config manager centric to providing a more broad suite of tools, the way that we deliver those has to evolve too. So it's just kind of an evolution of that. And it's going to give you quicker access too. So you can log in and download it right away instead of filling out a form. It's also a centralized hub for all things Recast. So any of our tools that we have, that's where you'll get your licensing for if you're a paid customer. The community tools will all be in there. And then there's more exciting things to come from the portal itself as well. We are kind of looking at ways that we can more streamline that and integrate it with the other functions that we have to support you. So let's go ahead and I'm going to actually show you portal real quick while I am in here. So I'll grab one of my screens here. So from the recastsoftware.com homepage, if you haven't already created a portal account, if you click on the download free tools button right up the top here, that's going to take you to a page where you can create your portal account from here. So you'll just fill in all this information and you'll get a activation email that you'll have to verify your email account. Once that's done, your portal account is created. You'll only have to do that once. So after your account is created, you can go to the portal login page. And then from here, I'm going to log in and show you guys what the portal actually looks like. If I can type my password correctly. So once you've created your portal account and you log in, you're going to get this home screen. This is going to have all of the Recast products in it. So you'll actually see the paid products as well, but you'll only have access to the community ones if you are only a community member. And these are listed in alphabetical order, I believe. So that's why you're going to see it kind of at the bottom here. But this is where you'll be able to download the tools itself, and then also the license file from here. But there's also some different pieces on the left-hand side here as well. So we have our features request page that you can get to right from the portal, where you can drop any ideas you have in, and we have it filtered by product as well. So right-click tools for Intune. Here's some of the community ideas out there. And then the resources section also has like a great deal of support resources for you. So you can get right to our documentation from here. And also we have the Recast Academy in here, which is Chris's baby. Chris, do you want to give a little plug for Recast Academy real quick?
Sure thing. So the Recast Academy is free to use, free to sign up. You don't have to be a customer. You do not have to be a customer. Anyone can use it. We do prefer if you have a corporate email that you sign up with that. It just is easier on the back end to kind of keep things tracked and things like that. That being said, it is free to use, and currently there are certifications available in there for right-click tools as well as application manager. And you can go in here, create your account, sign up, and then you'll have access to the full academy. We also are hosting live training in there. And so live training is free. We do one product per week on a monthly basis. So we'll do like right-click tools the first week, endpoint insights the second week, application manager the third week, and privilege manager the fourth week. And those are completely free. You and the team can join. Anybody can join if they're curious about learning more about the tool set themselves.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. And we did have a question come in earlier about, do we still do right-click tools for SCCM webinars? We haven't done that as much recently because we have all these new fun tools out, but the live trainings in the Academy would be a great place to look for those. So that's kind of just a little bit of background about the portal and what you can expect there. Next, let's kind of jump into the tools itself here. So I've got the system requirements up on screen here. Essentially what we're looking for is that we would love you to have the latest version of right-click tools, but you at least need to have that version 5.8.2.501. That's going to get you access to be able to use these tools. You'll also notice on there that it does say that you need the config manager console. So you may be wondering, hey, what the heck? I thought this was for Intune. Why do we need the config manager console? So this is really an initial build of right-click tools for Intune that's built with our current customer base in mind, which the majority customer base for us right now is co-managed users, mainly co-managed environments. So that's really where the focus is, but that is not by any means like the be-all end-all. So we are fully working on decoupling that from the need for on-prem resources. So yes, that is coming. I don't have a timeline. I know somebody asked that in the Q&A section as well. I don't have a timeline for when that would be coming, but that is absolutely the plan, and that will be coming. So apart from that, we also need to make sure that you have the Recast software browser extension, and that can now be found in both the Microsoft Edge Store as well as the Chrome Web Store. So Chrome and Edge are both covered now. And they're Chromium based, so do with that what you will. But from that, I will kick it over to Chris to kind of walk us through a demo of how this all works.
Very cool. Thanks, Cody. All right, guys. So I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 second here. As you know, screen shares notoriously always work. So give me 1 second to find the right screen. All right. So we're going to share. You should see a demo environment here. Can I get a confirmation? Cody, does that look good there?
Looking good.
All right. So I'm in our demo environment here. You should see a remote desktop. I am looking at the config manager admin console currently, and I just want to show this here. So we just want to show our Recast software node. You can see I have 5.9.2502. That is the February release installed, so it does meet that criteria of at least the January release. And I am, in fact, on a community license. And so I just wanted to show that as part of it. So all the tools that I'll be running here are still with that community license. So first thing that I am going to show is us going ahead, and I'm going to move this, and installing that add-on. So if I come in here to Edge, and this is, pretty similar steps for Chrome. But if I go over here and I go into extensions and manage extensions, and I can go get extensions here, and we're going to type in Recast here and do right click tools. If you just type in right click tools, that actually pops in a lot of things. So apparently there are a lot of right click things in Edge add-ons. So if you type in Recast, you get it there soon. So this is the Edge store for the Intune. If we go ahead and get this, and then we're going to add this, something to note here is if your organization is locking down extensions, this is something that will need to be whitelisted for that extension. This, end bit here will need to be added into the whitelist there in order to be able to access it. And so I've added it in. It automatically launches our doc site for the right click tools for Intune. So you can view that if you like. And yeah, that's pretty much straightforward. That's how you add it in, as long as it's been added. Really, the one thing to note is we do have some management stuff here. If I go into manage extension, by default, allow in private is not on. So if you do need that, you will have to come in here and turn this on and then relaunch the browser. So something to note there. So I'll take us over to Intune here. Let's see if I have to log in or if it remembers. Very cool, remembers who I am. So I'll go into Intune here. And if I were to go to our devices here and head over to our Windows devices, and why do I find a device here? We're going to look at our co-managed devices, and I'll just do this one here. And I now have this new icon here for Recast software. Like I said, if this doesn't exist, you might have to relaunch your browser just because that extension might need to be reloaded after you add it. So if I come in here and I click on this, I now have access to the familiar right click tool menu. And I can go down, and something to note here is this is a hover, so you will need to hover over those and move over. If you were to kind of click, it doesn't do the click. So we'll hover over here and we can go down. You can see our normal client actions and client tools. So why don't we just do why don't we just do a ping here? And do a ping systems here. It'll take about 5-10 seconds here. This will spawn a Recast console extension process as the user that is currently logged in. And so more on that in a bit as soon as this comes in here. And so you can see I've got a ping here that's running. And so this is a co-manager device, so I can run those config manager actions if I needed to. Same thing. One of the great tools that we really do enjoy using is our system information tool. Let's see here. And if I pop that in, give it a few seconds here to load, we have our system information tool with our general hardware and operating system information. And so that is one way to access the tool set. Now, something to remember here is that this is a browser extension. So it sits on top of the browser. So it doesn't have to be accessed in this manner. We do have another way to access these tools besides, just coming in and clicking on a Windows machine and then seeing this icon. And we have an additional right-click tool context menu. And so another use case to use this is, say you had a config manager SQL Server reporting services, and you like to access and look at web reports in here. So we'll go into our site here. I won't look at Endpoint Insights as our reporting software that we add, but just our native config manager reports. If I come in here and look at compliance, I'll just do overall compliance here, and I'll choose a collection and an update group. And we'll view something here. And if I were to choose one of these devices here, choose one of these groups here, these are the non-compliant ones. Why don't I choose something else? But if I select this PC here, so using my cursor, if I select that text, I can right click and there's a Recast software button here. Menu. And same thing, I can come in here and why don't we do something like a remote software center here. And this will sometimes pop up. There is another window that pops up initially. It looks like I must have already confirmed it because I had this installed previously, but it is just letting you know it's going to open up in an additional window. So we'll just give it a few seconds here. Oh, so sorry. I apologize. I forgot that that is requires an Intune license. So we'll do our same system information. And we'll go here. And this will pop up here as our system information tool and works. And so that is something that can be accessed from any other web page. You know, maybe you have a ServiceNow that has computer names in there, or you have somewhere else that you're accessing those, and you can get those computer names out, and then you can right click and kind of go in there. And so that is all I really have to show you here for right click tools. Cody, am I forgetting anything here?
Thanks, Chris. I will jump back into it here. I'll have you end your screen share. Appreciate it. So a couple questions I'm seeing in the chat. People are asking, what if they don't have Config Manager? Unfortunately, right now, that is a requirement for this to work, is you do need Config Manager for this to run. So if you're Intune only, keep an eye out for a future build that kind of decouples that need, but that is currently a need. We'll go ahead and jump forward here. So just want to give you guys a little bit of an update. We just had a release come out earlier this week. There's some fun new things in there. The Chrome browser extension actually just came out this week. So that is something that's part of the newest February release, is the Chrome extension. We also have some improved service connection syncs in Recast management server, which is kind of a central management server that our enterprise customers use. So that improved service connection sync really improves the speeds that it takes for the service connections like AD, Entra ID, Config Manager to check in with RMS. There's also some new RMS role templates in there as well. But kind of the big heavy hitter for us, the thing that we're most excited about with this February release, is custom app support for Application Manager. So if you're unaware of what Application Manager is, it's one of our third-party patching solutions. It's built specifically for Config Manager and Intune and application deployment. So kind of in that space, and we now have support for custom apps. So if you've got some kind of weird niche app that doesn't fit within Application Manager's 3,700 plus applications that we support, you can upload your own custom app. So if you've got like an in-house developed app, you can upload it from there. We've got one last poll question for you. If you would like to see a demo of this, go ahead and hit yes on that. We've got it kind of broken down there as well by environment type. See, we've got a few questions coming through here. One question is, without Config Manager, it will not work with the Intune extension. That's correct. Currently, that is still a requirement, having Config Manager installed. Then I'm also seeing a question here. So using the extension for the devices in the SSRS reports, that still needs to be on the device with the SCCM console installed, correct? That would be correct, right, Chris? They need to be doing that from the device that has the Config Manager console extension installed.
That is correct. I was typing up an answer here. It looks like Aaron had a question. Will this extension work with Azure Active Directory joined devices only? And so that is something to the point that we still require Config Manager admin console for the right-click tools to be installed on the device. And if that is installed, you can use it on those devices if there is direct line of sight to them. So there is a network component here. We do have, from an enterprise standpoint, we do have an ability to make those connections using the Recast agent. If that is something you're curious about and you are an enterprise customer, you can absolutely reach out to us to kind of talk more about that if you are curious.
Yeah, so I think the right click tools enterprise edition is really more suited for that type of situation for sure. All right, I think we've got enough poll responses there. So to kind of close things out here, just wanted to give you a little bit of a plug here. If you want to continue the conversation with us, we have a channel in the WinAdmins Discord. Anybody that's not aware of what the WinAdmins Discord is, it's a Discord server of over 14,000 fellow IT professionals. Within that server, there's a bunch of different channels. There's stuff covering Autopilot, Exchange, Microsoft 365 apps. There's all kinds of different little threads in there that you can join and talk about those subjects. But we also have our own hashtag Recast software channel in there. So if you want to join that Discord, it's just discord.gg/winadmins. Look in there for the Recast software channel. If you can't see it, sometimes it's not enabled by default. You can go into the channels and roles and make sure to turn on the Recast software channel. But if you're in there, go ahead and say hello to me or Chris, or I think Garth is really active in there right now. So there's quite a few Recast folks in there to answer your questions.
And finally,
go ahead.
Sorry. We did get a question here about, is there any option for third-party application for Intune? And so that is another product that we have, Application Manager, and we do have an application manager for Intune integration. And so you can deploy applications through the third-party catalog using Application Manager. Our catalog has a total of, the enterprise catalog has a total of, I think we're sitting at like 3,600 applications at this point.
We're over 3,700 now.
3,700? Okay. So
yep.
Absolutely something that is available. And if you are interested in that, you can reach out and we can absolutely get you a demo or any information that you may want on that.
Sweet.
We do have a quick question about integrations. We currently are working on getting this kind of moving towards getting this available to the cloud only. Everyone's moving to cloud. And so currently we don't have any plans for any integrations for ServiceNow, Jira, or I think I saw another one in here for Avanti. But if you do have any suggestions, Cody had shared in the beginning, there is a feature request page, and that is absolutely a great place to put feature requests. The way those work is the customers will can submit an idea and then vote on them. And then those are the ideas of how many votes they get on is how product decides how to they get into sprints.
Yep, and that page is just ideas.recastsoftware.com, so super easy to remember for that. So to kind of close things out here with our giveaway, this unfortunately isn't a live giveaway. We'll have to email you if you won here, but here's kind of like how you're eligible to win either the PS5 or the gift cards we have. So first of all, you need to make sure that you have created your Recast portal account, and then that you've downloaded the community version of Right-Click Tools. And if you've already had a portal account and you've already downloaded recently, past January 15th, you should be good to go. But just make sure that you take those 2 steps. So I think that is all we have for you today. So thank you so much for joining. We appreciate your time. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Thursday and enjoy.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate your time today.